everybody, it's 13 Wolf. Today is the final day in the 31 days of Halloween. The final day. It's day 31. And before I get started, I just want to thank everybody out there that has watched the videos, commented on the videos, even done their own videos. This has been a great year for doing the 31 days. Everyone's done their own thing. I love it. I still need to watch a few more videos before the day is over, just to get all caught up. But thank you to everybody. You know, it's great that we do this once a year, and the community, everyone in the community gets involved and just kind of like does their thing. And you know, if they catch your videos, that's cool. If they don't, that's cool. But you know, I mean, it's a good time all around. And this year, I really dug the list I came up with. I know it sounds like I'm patting myself on the back, but I've liked all the other lists every other year, but this one, I don't know what it is, but it just kind of like, it clicked, it had a special place, it just really felt like a good, strong list this year. And I've seen a lot of people doing a lot of cool stuff this year. As always, Mood's doing his independent thing, and that's very cool. Two-Ton Nerds, he's ending his with drawings, so the last 3 days, he's going to draw a different movie out of his clerk's lunchbox and watch that and tell you about that. So I need to get caught up on that, but I think that's a very cool way to end. But just all around, you know, I mean, everyone has been awesome this year. It's a good year for this. So let's get on with it. What would be the thing that, how would I end this great year? Well, I'm going to pick I'm going to pick something that's very monumental, very well, let's just show you. Dracula's Risen from the Grave. It's a Hammer film. I needed to end on something that closes out the month, you know. It's like, okay, we're on Halloween. What can you do? It's a vampire film, man. It's a Hammer film. I mean, Hammer, they put out like 8 or 9 of these Dracula movies back in the day. Horror of Dracula, Brides of Dracula, Scars of Dracula, Dracula's Risen from the Grave, Taste of Blood of Dracula, Satanic Rites of Dracula, Dracula 1972 AD, and Dracula and the Seven Golden Dragons, or something really weird. The last one that they did wasn't even Christopher Lee. They got a different person, and it's Dracula taking on like 7 kung fu masters. It's a really weird movie. But Hammer just grabbed on to the whole Dracula thing and said, let's run with this. And it was the late 50s for horror Dracula, aka Dracula in the UK. But the rest of it's like 1960s to very early 70s, you know, and they just kind of said, you know what? We got Christopher Lee. Let's make as many of these Dracula movies as we can, and let's enjoy it. And they did, and each one of them was almost just as good as the last one. I think it's Satanic Rites of Dracula, or is it Scars? One of those two that starts with an S is just ugh. You know, it could be better. But today we're talking Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. It had been a year since Dracula was destroyed in Scars of Dracula, and the Monsignor of this little area has come around to check on his local priest. The priest doesn't really have much to say when it comes to having a parish. No one's going to church. No one likes going to the church because the church lays in the shadow of the Dracula castle, and they could feel the evil being bestowed upon, you know, the church. And they're not digging that. They're like, no, we don't want anything to do with it. Monsignor says, you know what, I'm going to go up to the Dracula castle, I'm going to prove to you that Dracula's been destroyed, Dracula is dead, and I'm going to exorcise the castle. You know, so he goes up there and he does all this. And he takes this giant cross from the church and he puts it on the doors to seal the doors closed. Well, Dracula's not dead, of course. I mean, it says right there in the title, Dracula has risen from the grave. Dracula does rise from the grave because a little bit of blood that gets into him accidentally. And he goes to his castle and he sees the giant cross, and he's like, "Ah, dude, this is not cool." That's exactly what he said for 1960s. "Ah, dude, this is not cool." No, I'm kidding. He's annoyed. He does what he can to get back to his castle, but in the meantime, he's gonna taunt and haunt everybody that's connected to that town and the Monsignor. You know, it's a really cool movie. Christopher Lee does a great job. You know, you got Christopher Lee, you got Rupert Davies as the Monsignor. You know, I mean, it's really a very, I keep saying cool, but I mean, I think this is the first, if I remember right, this is the first Dracula film that got an MPAA rating. Up until then, you know, it was just general. There were no ratings. You know, 1968 is when the first rating system came about, and yeah, this was the first one to get the MPAA. This is a cool set. The only thing that sucks about this set is the fact that, and you're going to know right away, they are flipper discs. Next to snapper cases, flipper discs are the most annoying thing that was ever created by the home media. Snapper cases didn't quite fit in with the rest of your collection, and they would get caught on your collections. And flipper discs were never marked right. You know, you would look at them and go, "Oh, it says over here, blah blah blah," and you, at least with me, I'd always put it in the wrong side, because the way I read their instructions on the little ring, that movie should be pointing upward, or that movie should be, the title should be pointing the right way, but it's not. But yeah, so Dracula has risen from the grave. This is the final movie in the 31 days of Halloween. I want to thank everybody for getting involved, for having a good time. And next year, man, another 31 days, and I'm already thinking about, should I start working on a list now, or should I do it like I did this year? Just not wing it, but really put some thought into it. I really enjoy this year. You will not see any movies next year that were on this list this year. That's one thing. I always like to go through my collection to make sure I do not repeat year after year. So, until next year, always like, subscribe, share, comment. I always want to know what you have to say. And when you do subscribe, hit the bell. That way you'll be notified when something is new. And, of course, I am the 13th Wolfman. It is Halloween, and guess what? I'm on a trick-or-treat prowl, baby.